basically the story of a young ninja who's in a village, and there's a curse on his world. The demon army is invading, and he's trying to save the world by carrying a scroll to the top of the mountain. So there's a very specific mechanic in that game, is that you don't have a double jump. You do what we call the cloud stepping. So every time you hit something with your sword, you're allowed to jump again, and so you can chain those as much as possible. We want you to feel like these ninja movies, like, Chinese film where they go through the forest and wires.
Yeah, like Crouching Tiger, that kind of stuff.
So it's supposed to be fun to play, but also fun for people to watch them. So this story will start as an 8-bit platformer classic, serious stuff that's really mean. So, you're supposed to be like, okay, I'm done with that. It's a cool retro gaming experience, a love letter to the NES era.
Right.
With, cool chiptune music. And then, we like to play with players' expectations, so you'll be in for a few surprises on many, many levels,
Like, on a scale of 1 to poop in my pants, like, how surprising will it be?
I think you will poop your pants twice in the same minute.
Whoa, that's off the scale. That's like...
It is off the scale.
Like over 11.
We've been showing the game during all E3 to a lot of press. We've already gathered like 9 Best of E3 game awards from different...
Nice job.
Yeah, so people are like, what? Because we tell them, hey, this is going to be this kind of game, and they're like, I'm done for that. And then boom, 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 surprises. So we're trying not to show too much in the video that we provided today, because I think one of the best things is for people to be surprised. Going in blind in this game is probably be the best experience. But still, we have to show stuff and tell people, because if not, nobody's going to talk about the game, and then we'll be all sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't want you to be sad.
No, I don't want to be sad. I've been sad once, and it was super bad.
It's the worst feeling in the world, man.
Sad once. I love it.
You've got a very specific art style going on here. It's like an homage to something. I don't want to say the name. I mean, I have some ideas of what it might look like. Quacks like, talks like. What's your influence?
Well, it's NES that could have been. It's very, very clear. That we're using the NES palette, and we're doing a game like maybe the last few games on the NES that were really. We cheat a little bit because we like to say we do retro aesthetics.
Yeah.
But modern game design. So we take you to those memories of when you were a kid and you were with your cousin and having a lot of fun, and it was so cool.
Right.
But if you go back to some of these games, sometimes there'll be some frustration, especially for people who didn't play them when they were young. But we try to bring what we learned in level design and game design.
Yeah,
so this scene that you're seeing here is one of the first surprises. That's the shop. It's the shopkeeper is actually the most important character in the game, because he's going to tell you a lot of funny stories. He's going to upgrade your character, and is basically bringing you into the weird world of the messenger.
Okay.
Because as the ninja, you're basically the vessel for the player. So it's a rather generic ninja, but the shopkeeper and all of the bosses and stuff really bring all the humor in the game and the surprises. Stuff that you would not expect from a normal 8-bit platformer.
Excellent.
We're seeing right now the Quilshroom Marsh, which is you see there's some quicksand there. It's a level that's been possessed by a boss that's really a mushroom team, as we can see. And so
I bet he used to be a cool guy. I bet she used to be a cool lady.
Maybe. So you'll see her right now, and that's one of the first boss that's starting to be really challenging in the game. I think it's the fourth boss of the game, and she does some pretty nasty acrobatics, and as you'll see here, she will be doing something soon that will surprise you very much. No, not that much.
But a little bit.
But it's an interesting character. She plays an important lore in the game.
Okay.
And I don't want to say more than that.
No, it's all right. I mean, we can watch it. We can watch as we talk now.
And then she turns you to mushroom.
Oh. Okay. No, I know friends of mine who would actually pay to have that happen. So for the experience of being a mushroom.
Or they already do it.
Yeah.
So you see the game is in 8-bit. That's fine, okay? That's what we promised you. But one of the things that happened in this game is that when you think you're about to close the game, it's been hours, you've been playing, you've reached the top of the mountain, the big boss.
Yeah.
Then something weird happens. the game will actually turn into 16 bits.
What?
Oh man, I never saw that.
Did you shit your pants?
That was a little nugget. I will say, a little nugget.
Okay, so
That's fucking cool,
it's because
man.
the character learns later on that he's been, forwarded 500 years in the future. So
it represents it.
Exactly.
Oh my
So
God.
it ties
Good.
in the story. It's not just a gimmick. So it
Yeah.
ties in the story. You go into the future. So how do we better represent it than going from one console generation to the next? So we're going from NES to Super NES, and the game runs in both 8-bit and Super 8-bit, in 16-bit at all time. Music, every song in the game by our composer Rainbow Dragon Eyes is in 8-bit and 16-bit. Every
That's
level,
wild.
because after that, the game, you kind of figure out, oh, it was a normal platformer, but now I have to go back and I have a map. And so it kind of become more like a Metroidvania.
Oh,
so you have to
wow.
go back and you find new levels. There's a ton of content that you certainly did not expect. And to go back to Rainbow Dragon Eyes, because I know that you like the music.
Oh,
of the game.
absolutely, yeah.
He's a technical death metal drummer. He plays in Necrogoblicon and other bands.
Okay.
But his side project, Rainbow Dragon Eyes, is what he does is he paints his face and he sings death metal music with a Game Boy that playing chiptune music. He's a fantastical performer. This is his first soundtrack, and believe me, it's insane. It's I've been hearing some of those tracks for 2 years now, and I don't tire of it.
Rainbow Dragon Eyes.
Yeah,
If
check
you
it
guys
out.
want to check it out. I want to know now. One of the draws for Nintendo has always been the difficulty. How tough is this game?
The game starts relatively easy.
Okay.
First two bosses, I would say, are, it's fine. It's just to teach you.
Figure it out, yeah.
The game gets harder, but, it's never going to be as hard as our original Ninja Gaiden. That's not something that we want to go to, but it's
Okay.
still a very challenging experience.
Okay.
Look, so you see, this is a good example of seeing the game that runs in both mode at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So the
that's
Ninja is like, so it let us do some weird, cool thing with the level design. So technically, you
That's
just,
sick.
follow this, and you can also hit it so the circle becomes larger.
Okay.
And so you really see that the passage of time too. It used to be a cursed land, so it was all dark and stuff. And
Yep.
in the 500 years in between, it became a luxuriant place that we call Rivière Turquoise, because we're French Canadians and we wanted to have a level that was called with French.
You bet.
So and this is the Cloud Ruins. So it's the remnants of an ancient giant civilization. It's the first level. It's actually before the level that we just saw. It's the
Okay.
first level where you're actually in 16-bit. The character at this point has no clue what's going on, why everything changed.
Right.
And you get pursued by this incredible sky serpent. Every level will bring you new stuff, new gameplay element, upgrades. You got, now you have the wingsuit, you have the grappling hook. You don't start without that. You really upgrade
yeah.
your character along the way.
Now there is a currency system, and is that how you get the upgrades? As you go to
The upgrades like
shopkeeper?
the climbing claws, the wingsuit, and the rope dart, they are given to you by the shopkeeper because they are required for progression.
Okay.
The time shard are used to unlock the talent tree,
Okay.
which basically you can choose different talents.